First 30 seconds of why you should study e-commerce. The rapid growth and change that has occurred in the first quarter century of e-commerce represents just the beginning of what could be called the first 30 seconds of e-commerce revolution. Technology continues to evolve at a special exponential rates. This underlying ferment present interrupts interprets with opportunities to create a new business model and business in traditional industry, and in the process disrupts and in some instances destroys existing business models and firms. The rapid growth of e-commerce is also providing a extraordinary growth in care and employment opportunities, which we describe throughout the book. Improvements in underlying information technologies and continued interactional innovations in businesses and mark, marketing promise as change in the next decade, as was seen in the previous 2 decades. The 21st century will be age of a digitally enabling social and commercial life, the outlines of which we still can only barely perceive at this time, and honestly, as many that by 2022, consumers will be spending around 1.5 trillion and businesses around 7.3 trillion in additional transaction. It appears likely that the e-commerce will eventually impact nearly all commerce, and the most commerce will be by e-commerce by the year of 2050, if not sooner. Businesses' fortunes are made and lost in periods of extraordinary such changes at this time. The next 5 years hold an ex- exciting opportunities as well as risks for the new and traditional businesses to explode digitally. Technologies were marking advantages for society as a whole. The next few decades offer the possibility of significant gains in social welfare as well as significant challenges as the digital revolution works with its way through large and larger segments of the world's economy. It is important to study e-commerce in order to be able to perceive and understand the opportunities and risks that lie ahead. By the time you finish this book, you will be able to identify the technology, business, and social forces that have shaped and continue to shape the growth of e-commerce, and be ready to participate in and ultimately guiding the decisions of e-commerce in the firm where you work. Most specifically, you'll be able to analyze an existing or new ideal for a e-commerce business, identified the most efficient business model to use, and understand the technologies underpinnings of e-commerce presence, including the security and ethical issue raised, as well as how to optimally market and advertise the business using both traditional e-marketing tools and social, mobile, and local marketing. 1.2 Introduction to E-commerce. In this section, we'll first define e-commerce and then discuss the difference between e-commerce and e-business. We all also will introduce you to major technology building blocks underlying the e-commerce, the internet, web, and mobile platforms. The section concludes with a look at some majority current trends in the e-commerce. What is e-commerce? E-commerce involves the use of internet, the World Wide Web, and the mobile app and browsing running on mobile devices to transact business. Although the terms internet and webs are usually interchangeable, they are actually two very different things. The internet is a worldwide network of computer networks, and the web is one of the internet's most popular services, providing an access to billions of web pages. An app, shorthand for application, is a software application. This term is typically used when referring to mobile applications, although it is sometimes used to refer to a desktop computer application as well. A mobile browser is a version of a web browser software access via mobile devices as well as a mobile browser is a version of a web browser software access via mobile devices. We describe the internet web and mobile platforms more fully later in this chapter and in chapter 3 and 4. More formally, e-commerce can be defined as digitally enabled commercial transition between and among organizations and individuals. Each of these competitions are working definitions of e-commerce important daily enabling stuff. Okay, sorry about that. Just got a call. Where were we? Okay, right here. Digitally enabled transitions includes all transitions meditated by digital technologies. For the most part, this means transitions that occur over the internet, the web, and slash or via mobile data. Commercial transitions involve the exchange of value, e.g., money, across the organization or eventually boundaries in return for the products and services. Each change of value is important for understanding the limits of e-commerce. Without an exchange of value, no commerce occurs. The limits of e-commerce, without exchange of value, of no commerce occurs. I think I just read the same line again. The professional literature sometimes refers to e-commerce as well as commerce. For our purpose, we consider e-commercers and digital commerce to be synonyms. The difference between e-commerce and e-business. There is a debate that about there is a there is a debate about meaning and limitations of both e-commerce and e-business. Some agree that e-commerce encompasses the entire world of electronically based organizational activities that support a firm market exchange, including a firm entire information system, infra, inf, infras, infrastructure, are others argue, on the other hand, that e-business and e-commerce is the entire world of internal and external electronically based activities, including e-commerce. We think it's important to make a world distinction between e-commerce and e-business because we believe that they refer to different phenomena. E-commerce is not anything digital that a firm does. For purpose of this text, we will use the term e-business to refer primarily to the digital enabling of transition and process within a firm involving information systems under the control of the firm. For the most part, in our view, e-business does not include commercial transaction involving an exchange of values or organizational boundaries. For example, a company online inventory control machines are a component of an e-business by such internal procedures, processes do not directly generate revenue from the firm from outside the business or consumer as e-commercers by definition does. It is true, however, that a firm e-business information provides support for online e-commerce exchange. The same infrastructure and skill sets are involved in both e-business and e-commerce. E-commerce and e-business system blur together at the business firm boundary at the point where internal business system link up with suppliers or customers. See Figure 1.1. E-businesses uh, applications turn into e-commerce precisely with the exchange of value. We will examine this further in Chapter 12. Okay. E-business systems, the internet mobile, the technology for the firm, e-commerce system, the internet mobile, the customer to the supplier. Technology's building blocks underlie e-commerce and the internet, web, and mobile platform. The technology juggernauts behind e-commerce are the internet and the web that increase the mobility platform. We describe the internet, web, and mobile platform is some of details in chapter 3. The internet is a worldwide network of computer networks built on commerce standards and can be created in the late 1960s to connect a small number of mainframes computers and their use. The internet has grown into the world's largest network, and it is possible to say with certainty exactly how many commerces and other mobilization devices, such as smartphones and tablets, as well as the internet connection transfer devices such as smartwatches connected to TVs and remotes such as Amazon Echo are connected to the internet worldwide at any one time, but some experts estimate that in 2018 the number will exceed 23 billion IH market 2017. The Internet Link Business, Education, Instructional, Government, Agency, and Individual together and provides users with such services such as email document transfer, shopping, research, instant messaging, music, videos, and news. One of the ways measured to the growth of the internet is by looking at the number of internet hosts with the domain name. An internet host is defined by the internet system cornerstone as any IP address that returns a domain name in ADDR.ARPA domain, which is a special part of the DNS namespace that resolves IP addresses into the domain names. In July 2018, there's more than 1 billion internet hosts in over 24 245 countries, up from just 72 million in 2000. Internet system Corona in 2018. The internet has shown extraordinary growth patterns with compared to other electronic technologies of the past. It took the radio 38 years to achieve a 30% share of the US household. It took televisions 17 years to achieve a 30% sharehold. It only took 10 years for the internet web to achieve a 53% share of the US households. Once a graphical user interface was invented for the web in 1993. Today in the United States, around 280 million people of all ages, about 85% of the USA population uses the internet at least once a month. eMarket INC. 2018a. The World Wide Web, the web is an information system that runs on the internet and infrastructure. The webs of the original killer app that made an internet commercially and interesting and extraordinary popular popular. The web was developed in the early 90s and hence it was one of the more recognized than the internet. We described the webs in some detail in chapter 3. The web provides access to billions of web pages indexed by Google and other search engines. These people are creating a language called HTML, hypertext markup language. HTML pages can contain text, graphics, animation, and other objects. The internet prior to the web was primarily used for text communication, file transfer, and remote computing. The web introduced far more powerful capabilities of direct revelation to comments. In a sense, the web added color, voice, and video to the internet, creating a communication and infrastructure infrastructure and information storage system that rivals television, radio, magazines, and libraries. There is no precise measurement of the number of web pages in existence in part because today's search engine index only a portion of known universe web pages. Google has identified over 130 trillion of individual web pages, up from 30 trillion in 2013. Although many of these pages do not necessarily contain unique content, Scratch 2016. In addition to this surface or visible web, there is also the so-called deep web that is reportedly 500 to 1,000 times greater than the surface web. The deep web contains database uh, content that is not broadly identified by search engines such as Google. Although the total size of the web is not known, what is indubitably is the web contains has grown exponentially since 1990. The mobile platform has become a significant part of the internet infrastructure. The mobile platform provides the ability to access the internet from a various mobile. Okay, devices such as smartphones and tablets and laptops, computers via wireless networks or phone services. Mobile devices are playing an interesting prominent role in the internet access. In 2018, over 91% of Americans who access the internet uses a mobile device to do so at least at some time. Uh, Figure point 1.3 illustrates the varieties of devices used by Americans who access the internet in 2018, which is dual desktop, laptop only, and mobile devices. The mobile platform is not just a hardware phenomenon. The introduction of the uh, Apple iPhone in 2007, followed by the Apple iPad in 2010, has ensured a sea change in the way people interact with the internet from a software perspective. In early years of e-commerce, the web and web browsers were the only game in town. Today, in contrast, more Americans access the internet via a mobile app on a mobile device than by using a desktop computer and web. Insights of technology: will apps make the web int- interval examples the challenges that apps and mobile platform poses the web domain of the internet econs in more depth. Majority trends in e-commerce. Table point one Table 1.1 on page 15 describes the major trends in e-commerce in 2018 to 2019 from a business technology, and social perspective. The three majority organizing themes then we used in this book to understand e-commerce. See in section 1.6. Okay. Inside of technology, will apps make the er, web irrelevant? Nowadays, it's hard to recall before the web. How did we get along without the ability to go online to search for an item, learn about a topic, play a game, or watch a video through the web? has come a remarkably long way. It humbles beginnings such as experts thinking that the web best days are behind. Uh, Opinions vary about the future roles of the web in a world where apps have become a domain force in the internet uh, ecosystem. In 10 years, will the web be forgotten, a forgotten relic, or will the web and apps coexist peacefully as cogs as in the internet ecosystem? Will the app craze eventually die down as the user gravitates back towards the web as the primary way to perform online tests? Apps have grown into a diverse force for ever since Apple launched its Apple Store in 2008. The list of introductory apps have disturbed in a wide range communication, media, and entertainment, logic, education, healthcare, and most recently with Uber and Airbnb, the taxi and hotel industry, despite not even existing prior to 2008 and 2018, sales of apps are expected to be accounted for over 105 billion in the revenue worldwide, and the app economy is continuing to show robust growth, with the estimated that revenue will reach over 155 billion by 2022. More of those revenues are likely to come from an app purchase than from paid app download. Although uses of apps tend to be highly concentrated, with nearly 90% of smartphone app minutes spent on the visual top 5 apps, and consumers are trying to try new apps all the time and typically are using 20 different apps per month, leaving room for new app developers to innovate and create successful apps. Users are downloading and increasing the number of apps, with the number reaching for over 27 billion worldwide during the first quarter of 2018, according to research from the app Annie. In 2014, the first time ever Americans used mobile apps more than desktop computers to access the internet. The time the USA adults are spending using mobile apps has exploded, now according for 62% of total digital minutes spent. Time spent on the desktop now accounts for just 29%, and mobile browsers just 9% in 2018. According to consulting filmmakers, adult mobile internet users in the United States are expected to spend an average of almost 3 hours a day with an app on their smartphone and tablets computers, compared to just over 25 minutes a day using a mobile browser. Consumers have gravitated to apps for several reasons. First, smartphones and computers enable users to use apps anyways, instead of being tethered to a desktop or to lug a heavy laptop around. Of course, smartphones and tablets are enabled to to the web too, but apps are often more convenient and boasts more streamlined, elegant interfaces than mobile web browsers. Not only are apps more applying in ways to the consumer, they are more appealing to the content creator and media companions. Apps are much easier to control and monetize than the website. Not to mention they can't be crawled by Google or other survivors on the web. The average price of ads per thousand impression is falling, and many content providers are still mostly struggling to turn the internet into a profitable content delivery platform. Much of software and media company focus has been shifted to developing mobile apps for this reason, and in the future, some analysts believe that the internet will be used to transport data, but individual apps interfere will replace the web. Browsers as the most common way to access and display content. Even the creator of the web, Tim Bernley's feels that the web, as we know, is being threatened, but there is no predictive consonance about the role of the web in our lives in the next decade and beyond. Although the app may be more convention than the web in many respects, the depth of the web browsing experience trumps that of apps. The web is a very diver- dis- diverse array of sites and browsers have an open and flexible that the apps lack. The connections between the website enhance their usefulness and value to user, and apps that instead seek to lock users in cannot offer the same experience. In addition, the size of the mobile web audience still exceeds that of a mobile app audience. And when it comes to making purchases online using a web browser on a desktop computer still handily beats more devices. Retail's purchases made on desktop still account for over 60% of online retail prices. Other analysts are more opposition about the web changes to remain relevant in an increasing app drive online marketplace from this way because of the emergence of HTML5 and progress web apps like PWA. HTML5 is a markup language that enables more dynamic web content that allows for the browser accessibility web apps that are as applying as device specify apps. A P a PWA combines the best elements of the mobile websites and native mobile apps. A PWA functions are and feels like a native app, but it does not but it does not need to be downloading from an app store, and so does not take up any of the mobile device's memory. Instead, it runs directly into a mobile web browser, but it is also but it is able to load instantly even in areas of low connectly. Some people think that a good PWA can ultimately functions as a total replacement for companies' mobile websites, native apps, and even possibilities in the desktop website. The shift towards apps and away from the web is likely to have a significant impact on fortunes of e-commerce firm as the pioneers of the apps and the market leaders in the apps, smartphones, and table computers. Apple stands to gain from a shift towards Apple, and although it also faces increasing competition from other companies, including Google, this established successes of Apple stores will make it too impossible to the throne the apple. For instance, while Google Google Plays has more than double the number of downloads compared to Apple stores in 2017. The Apple Store still made nearly twice the amount of revenue for 42.5 billion than Google's Play of 22 billion. Google hopes that the PWAS or at least at partial answer to the problem presented to by the native apps because the more activity that occurs on the native apps which Google cannot crawl, the less data Google has access to, which impacts the web-based advertising platform. Ultimately, the markets to see the future as one in which the web and mobile apps work together, which each having an important role serving different needs. From a business perspective, one of the most important and trends to note is that all forms of e-commerce continues to show strong growth. Retail e-commerce and has been growing at over 15% a year for the last few years, and by 2019 is expecting to reach almost 605 billion. E-commerce, both in the retail sales, is growth and is even faster rate over the 30% a year, and is expecting to increase to over 304 304 345 billion by 2019. The social networks such as Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagrams are enable social e-commerce by providing advertising, searches, and buy buttons that enables consumers to actually uh, purchase the products. Local e-commerce is being fueled by the explosion of the interest in on-demand service such as Uber and Airbnb's. B2B e-commerce with Jorps and all forms also is continuing to strengthen and growth. From a technology perspective, the platform based on a smartphone and table computers have finally arrived with a bang, driving astronomical growth in the mobile advertising and making true mobile e-commerce a reality. The use of mobile messaging services such as Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp app, and Snapchat has created an alternate communication platform that is beginning to be leveraged for commercial as well. Cloud computing in external links by to develop the mobile platform by enabling the storage of consumers' content and software on the cloud, internet-based services, and making it available to mobile devices as well as desktop. Other major technologies trends including the increased abilities of companies to track and analyze the flood of online data typically referred as big data being processed, the Internet of Things (IoT) compares of billions of internet connection devices continues to grow exponentially and will only add to this flood of data in the years to come. At a social level, other trends are parent the internet and mobile platforms provide an environment that allows millions of people to create and share content, establishing new social bonds and strengthen existing ones through the social network photo and video posting and blogging sites and apps. With the same time creating significant privacy issues, privacy seems to have lost some of its meaning in an age when millions creating public online personal profiles, while at the same time concerns are over commercial and government sellers' privacy invasion continue to increase. The major di- digital copyright owners have increased their pursuit of online privacy, which makes success while reaching in arguments with the big technology players such as Apple, Amazon, and Google to process intelligent properties rights. Governments have successfully moved towards taxation of e-commerce sales. Silver Union nations have expanded their surveillance of and controlled over online commun- communications and connections as part of their anti-terrorist activities and their traditional interest in the law enforcement. Online securities or lack therefore remains a significant issue as the news stories about security breaches, malware, hacking, and other attacks emerges seem daily. 1.3 The unique feature of e-commerce technology. Figure 1.4 illustrates 8 of the unique features of e-commerce technologies that both challenge traditional businesses thinking and helping explain why we have so much interest in e-commerce. The unique dynamics of e-commerce technology suggests we may suggest many new possibilities for marketing and selling. Pro- a powerful set of interactive, personal, and rich messages are available for delivery to segment target audiences. The 8 unique features of e-commerce technology is richness, you build usability. I have no clue what that word is. Global reach, university standards, social technology, personality customization, information destiny, and interact. Yeah, Sounds about right. Okay, let's do this. Prior to the development of e-commerce, the marketing and sale of goods was a mass marketing and self-force driven process. Marketing views by the commercers as passive targets of advertising campaigns and branding bullets intended to influence their long-term process and imitating purchases purchasing behavior companions sold their product via insulating challenges. Cons- Consumers were trapped by global and social boundaries, enabled to search widely for the best price and quality information about boundaries, unable to search widely for the best price and quality information about prices and costs and fees could be hidden from the consumer, creating profitable information, assuming from from selling firm information. Assuming refers to despairing and relevant market information among parties in the transaction. It was so expensive to change national or original prices in the traditional retail. What are called menu costs that one nation prices was the norm, and dynamicing the prices to the marketplace, changing the prices in real time was unheard of. eh, Unheard of. I lost my place. Unheard of in this environment. Manufacturers prospers by relying on a huge product runs of products that could not be customized or personalities. E-commerce technologies make it possible for the merchants to know much more about the consumers and to be able to use this information more effectively than was ever true in the past. Online merchants can use this information to develop the new information sermon, hence their ability to brand production, charge premium prices for high quality services, and segment the market into an endless number of subgroups, each receiving a different price. To complicate the matters further than the technologies also make it to make it possible for merchants to know more about the other merchants than was ever true in the past. The present, the possibility that the merchants might collide on prices rather than and drive overall average prices up. This sensation works especially well when they are just a few suppliers. We examine these different versions of e-commerce further in section 1.4, and throughout the book each of these technology increases in figure 1.4 diverse reality as a commerces to both traditional commerce and other forms of technology. How much more of there is of this? Because I can't take this anymore. Holy fuck, there's still like 20 more pages to go. Yeah, no, my brain's done. Let me just look at all this really quickly. How do you fit this all in one chapter? This was such bad idea. Okay, that's done for chapter one, or at least half of it, basically. I'll do chapter two again, but I don't know how far I'll get into this. But yeah, that was basically e-commerce textbook. Yeah, I fucking hate college, so yeah. For somebody who actually listened through this the whole way, why the fuck did you do that? And with that being said, I'm gonna go get a drink of water because my voice is about to fucking give out. Goodbye.